Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Core Health Collective show. Our guest today is Chloe, and she's got an amazing clinic that we are going to hear all about. It's got the catchiest name of any clinic that offers physio and chiro that I've ever heard. I love that it's not boring. Chloe, I will definitely let you introduce yourself and the name of the clinic, and maybe at some point on this call, we can find out how you came to that name, because I really applaud you guys for being creative right from the beginning, which is your name. So welcome to the show, Chloe. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Ben. I appreciate this. I'm always excited to connect with other people in the health industry. So I feel flattered that you asked me to join this today. So yeah, so my name is Chloe Tudor. I'll tell you a bit about me. I grew up in rural Nova Scotia and I moved to Toronto. That's where I did my kinesiology degree at U of T. And then from there, I went to Ottawa and I did my massage therapy program. So I'm actually also a registered massage therapist. And yeah, I moved back to Toronto and I worked at other health clinics and, like many people, worked at places, learned a lot from them, but didn't really feel like it represented who I am. So me and my business partner, Katie White, we opened our now clinic called For Health's Sake in downtown Toronto. And we're just opening our second one actually right now as well.
Oh, amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Congratulations. When's the new location going to open?
Well, we literally signed the lease today. So hopefully by like August 1st is our hope.
Oh, congratulations. That's such a huge step. Are you guys excited or nervous or both?
Both, but it's the fun stages. Like we take pride in interior design and like really creating and curating a space where people feel at home with like plants and a whole vibe. So this is the fun stage. We have like Pinterest boards and we're just getting all that organized.
Oh, that's amazing. So the name For Health's Sake, how did you guys come up with that? I think it cuts right to the, like when I saw that on your website, it was like right in my head of like, of course, that's what's going on in everyone's head. And I didn't have the words.
Yeah. It was funny, like when, you do the whole name game in the beginning and we would just veto everything. And then funny enough, my dad, he was throwing out things in text message and this was my dad's choice. And we were like, kind of like that. That's kind of different and weird. And so that's how it happened.
Yeah, I need your dad for some brainstorming.
Yeah.
No, I love the name right away. It totally resonated with me. It stands out in the industry, no question, which is probably a small part of why you're able to open up a second location.
Thank you.
So tell me about, and the listeners, let's just talk about the services you offer and kind of who's your target client?
Yeah, so we offer a wide range of services. We started actually with just the physical health being like physio, chiro, acupuncture, massage. And then about a year into the industry, we realized, wow, we're missing an immensely important part of health, which is mental health. And we have a lot of clients with chronic pain and we would, feel like we'd be stuck at them at certain points. And we decided, let's just offer psychotherapy. Let's see, a lot of people have trauma. There's a lot of past history with these chronic pain clients, and let's see what happens. And it's been really cool, actually. So that's been one that I've been really surprised about, didn't expect in the beginning. So now, yeah, we provide services for mental and physical health. Our target client is anybody who wants to better themselves, better their health, live pain-free. Yeah.
So tell me about the psychotherapy. I want to unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that topic is new to most of our listeners. I think they're like, okay, chiro, check, got it. Physio, check, yep, I got it. But the other piece, so how did you guys decide to add that in and like what were some of the challenges?
So one of the things I really recommend as being business owners is to stay open to what your clientele is telling you and not be stuck on a certain idea. So we've been trying to do that from the beginning and staying flexible and open-minded. And what we found was we were having clients start talking about their therapy. That was where it started. People were being a little bit more open. You may have noticed that too. Now, when you're out, you'll hear people say, my therapist, and go on with something they're told. So we realized that it's starting to become normalized. But then we were like, if clinics start offering mental health in physical spaces, I think it's going to advance mental health significantly because it normalizes it. Once you see it around you when you're coming into this space, it already just makes it more comfortable, right? So Katie and I, we were looking around at other clinics and trying to see if other places are doing this. And there were a couple, but it was really infrequent. And we were questioning it, like, why is nobody doing this? Is there a reason? And we were trying to write down the cons of offering it. And honestly, we couldn't think of any. So we just decided, okay, let's just try it. We connected. One of our clients actually was a psychotherapist at that time. And we connected with her, thought she'd be an amazing fit. So we just were transparent, said, we've never done psychotherapy. Let's see what happens. And she blew up. She was fully booked. It was amazing. And that's how it started. Yeah.
Amazing. So what is psychotherapy? Maybe you could break down so if a listener is thinking, okay, maybe this could be for me. So maybe let's start, like, who is it for? And then how is it achieved? Like, what happens on the appointment?
Yeah, I mean, that probably would be, I mean, a psychotherapist would go into way better detail than I am.
Sure. Give me your knowledge, what you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the general. So psychotherapists can be either registered psychotherapists or social workers and who practice psychotherapy. So the title is under psychotherapist. And depending, of course, we always have to worry about insurance because clients, want to make sure that they're covered for things. Clients are usually either covered for social work or psychotherapy. And then there's also psychology, but that's a whole other area that we don't currently have just because there's so few far in between psychologists.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the umbrella of them. We do virtual and in person. When COVID happened, of course, we moved fully virtual, and we found a lot of people really prefer it. So virtual, we have 5 psychotherapists right now. We're about to add 2 more, and most of them are fully virtual.
Okay. Oh, that's great for people that, it's so much more accessible, especially when you're in Toronto. If you can save, the time on, driving and parking and
Yeah.
away from work or family, that's great.
Yeah. And as a clinic owner, it's amazing because what you originally think of is kind of your max, capability of growth. It's now unlimited, and that's really cool too, right?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because you don't need a physical space.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
how's it been going with, advertising and finding clients? You said that one person's fully booked. Do you have more than one now, or are you planning to expand?
Yeah, so we have 5 now, and we're just about to have 2 more.
Wow.
Um, yeah, like not all of them are full time. A lot of them are actually they usually space out either with another clinic or maybe they're private clinics or clients as well. It's been trial and error. I'll be fully honest. There's this platform called Psychology Today that you may have heard of, and it's a large. There's so many psychotherapists on it and therapists in general, so it's a bit saturated. So we list our therapists on there. It can be, not as great because there's just so many people to deal from. So then we have Google ads and, you try things, but more than anything, your clients that come in for physical health, they're curious and then you can refer to that.
Okay. So are you finding more success with current clients, just selling them another service or referring them to another service?
Yeah. Like I think it's most of our clients, that's part of, I mean, a lot of clinics love this way of collaborating, but most of our clients see several other therapists and we do work together as a team. And I do think it's the most efficient treatment plan for people, especially if they're dealing with something, more serious. So yeah, that's our hope. And that's what's been happening.
Absolutely. I love that your clinic is treating the entire body, including the
Mhm.
mind, right? And the heart.
Yeah.
I love that. It makes so much sense because we could, stress causes so much physical,
Yeah.
imbalance. And if you can
Yeah.
solve the stress, you may not need as much physiotherapy on your body. I really love that you guys are doing that. And quite frankly, I've not heard of that before.
Oh,
So
cool.
either like I've been an ostrich out here in Kingston, or like you guys are like breaking down some barriers. So either way, like good for you guys. I love
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
So you mentioned Google Ads. How did that go for you? Because remember, it's entrepreneurs in the health space that are probably going to be listening to these episodes. That's our community at Core Health Collective, and they probably just heard you say, Yeah, we do Google Ads, but we get most of our business from our current clients. So let's talk about the Google Ads. How did that go for you guys? And what did you learn?
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly learning with Google Ads. So me and Katie, my business partner, we kind of split up what we do, and my focus is Google Ads. And I mean, have you worked with Google Ads before?
Yeah, like I have a whole team that works on Google Ads actually
Okay.
for some of our clients. So yeah, I know the minutia of Google quite well.
Yeah, it's ever changing. Nobody really knows, you know. So what I love about Google Ads is everybody has their own account manager, right?
Mhm.
So whenever I have questions or just curious how my listing, like how it's going, I book a meeting and we chat and they help me through it. And it's actually been really helpful to me. I've been utilizing it, which before we hired somebody, but I decided I wanted to kind of learn this area. Um, but yeah, it's definitely like it's hit or miss with which ones do better. Like I'm sure everybody experiences that.
Yeah.
But I do think like I said, most of ours are from referral for mental health, but we get quite a bit from Google Ads as well.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I think the fact that you're utilizing the support rep that you have, the account rep
yeah,
is huge. I don't think a lot of people do that, and they are such a great resource.
yeah,
And they only know how to give you advice based on the way Google is acting that day or that week or maybe that month.
yeah,
And like all of a sudden things are changing and you may not even realize it,
yeah,
but your credit card's still getting charged.
yeah, yeah,
And you can just reach out to them and say, what should I do? And the advice they gave you 6 months ago is different now. But
yeah,
the new
yeah.
advice is helping you get a better return on investment, which is really what Google Ads is for, right? It's to get customers
Yeah.
at the lowest cost possible.
Yeah, when I first, I didn't even realize that was an offering, and when I realized that, I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" So, yeah, highly recommend that.
And it's a better experience than people would expect, I think.
Yeah, and I
Right.
think a lot of people would think they're going to upsell you and make you spend as much as you can on your Google Ads, and I have not found that at all. I've actually found that they've been saving me money, so that's been good too.
Oh, wow. I feel like the title of this podcast should be Google is saving me money.
I don't work
Oh
for
my
Google, I
gosh,
swear.
that's like insane clickbait right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you do the Google ads. And then what other forms of advertising or ways do you guys find clients? Because you're about to have especially because you're about to open up a second location and you obviously
Mhm.
need to fill it up.
Yeah. So one of the like a unique thing about our space was we started as a corporate on-site massage therapy company. So we went into many offices and companies in downtown Toronto, and we provided massage to the employees. So we were in companies like Kijiji, Facebook, Uber, Entertainment One, Vice Media, like all these really cool tech companies, and they were all around our clinic. It was way smarter than we realized at the time because every day we had an RMT or two go off, well, several that were going off to different spaces. And when they were there, 200, 300, however many people, 50, if it's smaller tech companies, would hear For Health's Sake is here and like, how's your massage? And, there'd be talk. So you would have so much word of mouth about our space every day. So that was really cool because then they would just come a few blocks over and visit us at the clinic. So we got a lot of clients from that. And that still come from those times. Of course, COVID hit and that has been all shut down for now, which was really hard. Mentally more than anything because we were fairly new and we were in that hustle mode and we were, not at our peak yet and it got taken away from us. So that was hard, but I know it's going to come back. We have companies like reaching out to us again about that. But that has been a huge piece of where we are today.
Oh, that's great. Do you feel like many of these companies are going to really lean into corporate wellness more than prior to COVID?
I do because I think that a lot of people do not want to go back to the office. And now more than ever, you need extras to encourage people to leave their home.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Hmm.
So come back to the office, even though you don't want to, but it's okay because we're going to have a massage come in once a month and
Yeah,
we're going to have a food truck show up and et cetera,
yeah,
et cetera.
exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So all of those companies you worked with before, are they still in that space? or some of them actually fully moved out?
As far as we know, they all are still in the space, but most of the employees only go in a couple days a week now. So
Okay.
that's going to be the tricky part of knowing. I think they would try to choose a day where most people are in and then have us in on that day.
Yeah. Maybe you guys could just give them their own white labeled booking tool. And whenever employees are in, they get like they get once a month to be there and get a massage, and they just book into the tool. So they get their own booking portal. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what you guys use for a booking software, whether it's Booker or Mind and Body or something else, but
Yeah, we use the Gain app.
okay. So
Yeah.
maybe you contact them and say, can I have my own white labeled booking app
Yeah. I love
to
that.
give to companies so the employees feel like it's their own?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love that.
that's interesting. So where the new office is going, are you guys going to try to do the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have it's most of the time, like, you mean, are we going to continue doing the on-site from the
Yeah.
new? Yeah. I mean, it's really about employees travel in from all over. So it's like they'll hear our name and then whatever location is closer is probably where they'll gravitate toward. So I know it will help us as well. Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I didn't catch was what year is your clinic opened? Like
We're
when you
fairly new. We're 3.5 years now.
okay, yeah, when you said, I think you said something about like when COVID hit, we weren't quite at our peak yet, and we lost
Yeah.
all those corporate clients, which led me to think, okay, how long is the clinic going? So you're
Mhm.
already opening your second location. You and your partner are rock stars.
Thank
That's
you.
and with COVID right in the middle of that
I
whole
know. COVID
three and a half
slowed it.
years.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a risk. COVID, you always plan for anything that could happen. Nobody thought of a pandemic. So that slowed everybody down. But I'm hoping that that stays away.
We're all hoping it stays
Yeah,
away. And I think we all learned a lot too about hopefully how much do we have to shut down and how careful do we have to be. So
exactly. Yeah,
but we can't live life like that. If we lived life waiting for the next pandemic, we wouldn't do anything. And then
exactly.
maybe 30 years goes by until the next pandemic, and we say, wow, we had 30 years to open a second, third, fourth, fifth location.
Exactly.
Yeah,
100%. And no matter what, if you're an entrepreneur, it's part of your business, like part of your life is risk. And obviously it's calculated risk, but you go for it. There's no point of waiting on ideas and yeah, just keeping, you at pause. So we're all about that.
that's amazing. So for our listeners, tell us what it's like to have a business partner.
Oh, so I think a lot of people worry about having a business partner and having falling outs. And
Hmm.
one of the things Katie and I said from the very beginning is let's just be transparent. Anytime anything comes up that you're just like not loving or want to talk about it. So it's worked really well with us because I feel like we're just completely transparent. We communicate about anything, and we have obviously that mutual respect and that mutual, grind. And I am really lucky. Like I feel really lucky because I've heard a lot of other, business relationships not do as well, but it's working for us. So I would definitely recommend. I think communication is like, the issue to every kind of relationship, whether it's your partner, your business partner, your friendship. And once you can understand how to communicate with your partner, and like when I say that, I mean understand their personality, know what kind of personality you're talking to. Maybe how you would communicate to yourself is not how it's going to work with them, right? And it
Mhm.
just makes everything smoother. So yeah,
All right. Well, hopefully your business partner, what was her name again?
Katie.
Hopefully Katie listens to this and is like, oh, thanks so much, Chloe. So is there anything that you wish you knew before you became an entrepreneur that has surprised you in a good way or frustration? Like what's been the tough part aside from the pandemic?
Ooh,
Because we can all agree on the pandemic.
I know the pandemic is just a repeated conversation. Anything that I wish I knew? I mean, I feel really lucky. I don't want to be so positive, but I mean,
That's okay.
knock on wood, we haven't had any hard lessons yet. I mean, things like when you first start off a business, you want to like I wish we knew more about accounting and the finances and how to get organized. Like, all of that stuff is so important to your success and just getting it like clean from the beginning.
Mhm.
So that probably like, backed us up a little bit in the beginning just because we weren't focusing on that. We were focusing on our passion. Um, but yeah, nothing really sticks out to me with that one.
Okay, all right. And Google Ads are going okay for you. So yeah, no
Yeah.
big problems there. Yeah, I would definitely want to keep in touch with you and see how the second location goes. And
Yeah.
will you guys be splitting your time? Will you both be each be in both clinics, or will you be kind of taking a clinic each?
We're going to be splitting our time. The goal is that the clinics do not need us in it. Like that's our hope. We want to. We really love the behind the scenes. Like the business is what excites me. The leading people and creating a space that our therapists love being in. Like that stuff excites me. So I think I'm really trying to get in the thought process of like, if it needs me there, then I'm not doing a great job. Of course, you want to like see people and you want to like let them know you're there to support them, which we always will. So to answer your question, we're splitting it up in the beginning, but we're going to like keep pulling back, being around, but like not making it dependent on us being there.
That's great. I think that's amazing. And like just knowing what would make you happy and being honest with yourself about that is the
Mhm.
fastest path to actually getting what you actually want, and not feeling guilt about like, well, I started doing client like patient work, so I have
Yeah,
to keep doing patient work. My employees expect me to do patient work. They expect me to be
exactly.
alongside them. If that's not what gives us the passion, like we're taking all the risks as the entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, we get to live our best life as well, because that risk creates lots of problems sometimes for us as well. So I think it's great that
Yeah.
you have that self-awareness, and you guys want to be, like have what we call like a self-managing company, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure you've experienced this too. I find if you have like wearing two hats is hard. Like if you're a business owner and a therapist, one is going to suffer because you're never equally as excited about both at the same time, right?
Oh,
And
100%.
yeah, so I realized that early on, and I mean, I still do. I always want to be the best, like that, at everything I do. So but when I realized that I don't care to be the best RMT anymore, I want to be the best like clinic boss, and that actually like gave me relief because then that's where I knew I needed to focus.
And that's clearly your unique ability, right?
Yeah.
That's I'm part of a group called Strategic Coach, and they would call that your $1,000 hours. So
Oh yeah.
anytime you can be spending the more $1,000 hours you have, that's better for you and the company. It's clearly
Yeah.
what you're best at. So that's awesome. As I've met some people I've worked with people in clinics that they outsource, or they've hired in like a general manager, because thinking about the business stresses them out, and they really
Yeah.
want to do the clinical work. So, and
Yeah.
vice versa. So that's great.
Yeah.
So where do you see the business going in the future? You've been around 3.5 years. You've weathered COVID. You're opening your
Mhm.
second location soon. What's the future hold?
I think we're moving into more holistic and alternative types of therapy. Um, for example, we have a senior physiotherapist. Her name is Caitlin Turner, and she like her bread and butter is clients that have chronic pain, clients who've tried all sorts of therapies and nothing's worked for them. They come to Caitlin because she works with the nervous system, lymphatic system, circulatory system, digestion, organs, fascia. It goes on and on. And I think that kind of approach is what's going to become more common. And we've seen real incredible results with that too.
Really? So this is the this is the person that is having some sort of problem. It seems to be a little bit of a mystery. The
Hmm.
family doctor can't figure it out. Specialist can't figure it out, and the patient's still stuck with the issue. We see a lot of that
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Okay, so this person's like, remember the show House?
yeah.
Yeah, so this person's like House, like
That's
figure
so
figure out
true.
all the weird problems.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Okay, and do you think that that will um, be disruptive in the medical industry, or do you think it will help open up more solutions and help the medical industry? I don't know
I
if
think,
I'm asking the question right, but it seems a
yeah,
little disruptive.
it is both, I think. I think it's going to advance the healthcare system significantly, and it's going to speed up people's recovery or have them suffer from trauma less. Like I see in terms of the client, it being significant. In terms of therapists, I can see it being a challenge because, of course, everybody's taught a certain way in school, and I wouldn't say that alternative types of therapy and that out of box thinking is as encouraged when you're, in physiotherapy school. So I could see it being tough for people because graduating, becoming a physio and then having to unlearn some of the things that you were taught. It's really hard to unlearn, right? And to think differently than what you just learned. So that's where I see the challenge coming.
Yeah, it sounds like an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, very niche. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so for everybody listening, where can they find you guys online? Where do you want them to go?
Yeah. So forhealthsake.ca, that's our website. And you can see everything about us there, our team, about us, how to book online. We also have Instagram for.health.sake, and you can find us in there as well.
Okay, amazing. Well, I really appreciate having you on the call. I learned something, which was like what I always hope. I learned a few things actually. And welcome to the core health community. I think
Yeah.
hopefully we can offer you some value like you did for us today, long term. And I look forward to continuing to chat with you for hopefully years to come.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care.